Lost but Found is a casual management game where you work at an airport in the Lost and Found department. It has 4 modes: chill, relax, normal, and mayhem. I personally have only tried normal mode, but either way, I think the game is pretty low key and casual, so I don't think you'd be too stressed to try normal yourself. The game opens up to a tutorial by a security guard who also works in the airport. He explains that there's a conveyor belt that runs multiple times per shift with 3 items on the conveyor belt. It is one of your tasks to get those items off the conveyor belt and onto the table. People will come up to the table asking if you've seen their lost items. So try to come up with a system to help you categorize where the items will be placed on the table. Not every person coming up is immediately asking for an item that just came off the conveyor belt. Some items may sit on the table for either your entire shift or multiple shifts before someone comes asking for it. So you don't necessarily want to put it in like the most recent order. If you haven't gotten an item yet, you can tell a customer that you don't have it and it will generate a sticky note with their phone number to call them back. I'll be honest with you, calling people back with the phone is pretty tedious, typing in that 5-digit number and then waiting for them to come back and ask for it. So if you have the item already, just give it to them. It's faster than having to call them back. There is going to be opportunities for other types of people to come to the table. So, for example, robbers could come up to the table and try to steal your money. You have to ward off the robbers by using pepper spray. There's also going to be the security guards coming back looking for things like important documents or their ID cards. Be sure to prioritize giving items back to security. There are also mini games that will pop up, such as cleaning off clothing items with the sponge, and you can tell because it will have a little red icon with an exclamation mark next to the item. Once you click into it, that will open the mini game where you can scrub off clothes like dirt stains on clothes. You can also sign documents or remove stickers from laptops and luggages. You're probably thinking, well, why would I want to remove the stickers? There's actually a sticker collection with different themes that you can complete. So you do want to take the stickers off and it won't have any penalty against the game. There are also some, if you want to participate in the black market, you can put items in the box under the table to sell on the black market, but you have to reach a certain level of black marketness, I guess, before you can do that. When I played, I tried to have a system. Certain items will always be on the table. For example, the stopwatch, thermometer, pepper spray, calendar, and money stash. So at first, I tried to have them shoved in the lower right-hand corner. When it comes to the items itself, I tried to section it together, like keeping all the boarding passes together, putting bigger objects like luggages and animals in cages towards the bottom, things like that. So it's easy to kind of remember where everything is. Be sure to keep up with your task in between when there's no customers at the table, things like signing documents or cleaning off luggage before a customer walks up to you. Also, collect your rewards because people give you tips depending on how big of an item you return to them at the end, because it does take up room on the upper right-hand side of the table. At the end of each day, you can review the day's stats and check the sticker collections to see your progress. Before starting the next day, you have quite a few options, and we're going to go over those really quick. You can either shop at the local market, check out the black market, check out the security office, or go home. Going home does end your day, so be sure to make sure you go into the shop before you go home, or you won't be able to do any of that stuff. For shopping at the market, there are a lot of items you can buy, and these items act as upgrades for when you're working at the Lost and Found department. The items typically are the same each day unless you buy them out, but there's a clock, a fan, stopwatch, table expansion, tip box, and music player. To me, the most useful one was the table expansion, as you'll quickly run out of room on your standard table to put down new items. It may be a while before you have enough money to actually buy upgrades. It may take a couple games where you get tips before you can afford anything. Eventually in the market, an item will pop up called Court Document. And when that shows up, it eliminates the need to send money home. Sending money home is actually quite an expense for you. And so you may also want that upgrade. So before you can end your day, it's going to ask you to send money home. And the increments start at $80 and go up $10 a day until it reaches the max of $150 each day. If you don't give money to your family for 3 days in a row, the game will end. So you do want to give money home, save money aside to give home, or pay for that court document upgrade from the market to avoid that obligation. The black market has different items for sale, including an art piece, magnifying glass, or QR code scanner. I would feel that the QR code scanner is actually the most important because you can use it to hover over the sticky notes that you get from your customers to call them back, and it will automatically call them back and delete the sticky note. That probably makes it easiest, especially going into the game where you might get a lot of items back. The magnifying glass shows you the price of items, which can be helpful if you're selling things on the black market. And the art piece makes customers more patient while waiting for their stuff. Eventually, the black market will get another item called the Black Marketeer tie, which makes the black market games easier. The only black market minigame that I noticed in the game so far was that a person in a black suit will come up asking for you to hurry up and give them something of value. I don't think it was overly challenging. I usually give them something electronic, like a laptop, and they go away. The security office also has 3 things to buy: the security badge and the security certificate, which gives you a 10% bonus. And I forget what the third item is, so I may have to go back and start a new save to figure out what that was. Now, with the table upgrades, you can upgrade 3 times over 3 different days. You only can buy the table expansion from the market 1 time. Be sure to scroll right to see how far the table goes. You may go so far right that you can no longer see the conveyor belt, but you'll hear it come, so don't forget to grab items off of it when that happens. I use the far right end of the table to house things like my upgrades, so the fan, the art piece, the Black Marketeer tie, etc., just so I don't have to let them take up space where actual items should go. Customers typically only show up on the left side of the table by the conveyor belt, so you probably won't miss them. As I gained more space on the table, it was actually easier to organize things. So I would put all the boarding passes together, and then all the clothing items together, all the small items like pins, lipsticks, wedding rings, and then all the electronics together like laptops, chargers, and headphones. Try not to change how you organize because half the battle is finding these items in a pinch. Customers come up and you only have a few seconds to either give them the item or tell them you'll call them back. I hope these tips are helpful for you. The game itself is still in progress with several content updates pending in the future. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the game so far.